everyone, I am Glenn Emrel from BSN English 1A, and now I am going to show you my instructional materials. Instructional materials, also known as teaching and learning materials, are any animate or inanimate objects that a teacher will use in teaching and learning process that helps achieve its desired learning objectives. Instructional materials are very essential tool, not just in a specific subject, but the whole subject in the school curriculum. It allows students to interact with words, symbols, and ideas that helps them to develop their abilities in reading, writing, listening, viewing, solving, and using the modern technologies. In my instructional material, I choose the short story as my topic, and I'm going to use the flip chart to discuss it. So, what is a short story? A short story is a piece of prose fiction that typically can be read in one setting and focuses on a self-contained incident or a series of linked incidents with the intent of evoking a single effect. As it said, a short story is a piece of prose fiction, meaning every short story is not real and it doesn't exist in the real world. An example of a short story is The Lottery, written by Shirley Jackson. The story describes a fictional small town in contemporary America which observes an annual rite known as the lottery, in which a member of the community is selected by chance. It is implied in the story that the lottery is practiced to ensure the community's continued well-being. The story has been dramatized several times and subjected to much sociological and literary analysis and has been described as one of the famous short stories in the history of American literature. So, that is an example of a short story. Next. What is the length of a short story? The average short story should run anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 words, but anything above 1,000 words can do to write a short story. Flash fiction is a short story that is 500 words or less. And now we will jump to the elements of a short story. Elements of a short story. Number 1. The plot. This is the sequence of events or actions in the story. Plot is the development of the story in terms of beginning, middle, and end. A good plot is not based on the twist and turn of events, but how much is revealed about the characters and theme of the story. The beginning contains the conflict which races to a climax where the story turns before reaching a denouement or resolution. Second is the characterization. Characterization is how the character behaves in a certain situation. His or her actions will be determined by his or her motivation, which in turn is determined by his personality. For example, Shrek. If we're going to characterize Shrek, he is a good and determined man. Although he don't have that beautiful face and being degraded by the people surrounds him, he was still loved by Fiona, and that love gives him power to be strong and to fight against all odds in life. Third is the setting. Setting is the location and time of the story. It is used as a way of increasing credibility of every short story. The writer provides details about the setting for the reader to shape into complete picture. Settings is where the story happens and when the story happens. Fourth is the theme. It is an underlying idea that comments on human condition or a truth in life which is in the heart of the story, usually implied rather than stated. Fifth is the point of view. Point of view is the narrator of the story. It can be classified into three, and that three are A. The first person. So first person The narrator is the character who tells the story from his or her own observation. First person point of view uses the I pronoun to refer to the narrator. This narrator is usually the protagonist of the story, and this point of view allows the reader access to the character's inner thoughts and reactions to the events occurring. All of the action is processed through the narrator's perspective, and therefore this type of narrator may be unreliable. The choice to write from an unreliable first-person point of view gives the reader a chance to figure out what is reality and what is a creation of the part of the narrator. B. The second-person point of view. Second-person point of view is structured around the you pronoun and is less common in novel-length work. Second person can allow you to draw your reader into the story and make them feel like they are part of the action because the narrator is speaking directly to them. Writing in second person for any great length is a challenge, and it will stretch your writing skills. C. The third person point of view. The author is narrating a story about the characters and refers to them with the third person pronouns he or she. Next. Sixth, symbol. This is a concrete object, event, or character in the story which represents an abstract idea like love, patriotism, and others. The meaning of the symbol is revealed through the context of the story. For example, a gravestone. A gravestone may be a symbol of death since gravestones are associated with death. A character who has a dream about a gravestone may actually be having a dream about death. Symbolism is used by authors for a variety of reasons. Many authors use symbolism to subtly allude to the meaning of something without being obvious. Next. Seventh, conflict. Conflict in a story could be the following: man versus man versus society, man versus himself, and man versus nature. Man versus man. This is a common type of conflict in which one character's needs or wants are at odds with another's. A character conflict can be depicted as a straightforward fist fight or as intricate and nuanced. B. Character versus society. A character versus society conflict is an external conflict that occurs in literature when the protagonist is placed in opposition with society, the government, or a cultural tradition or societal norms of some kind. Man versus himself. This is an internal conflict, meaning that the opposition of the character faces is coming from within. This may entail a struggle to discern what the moral or right choice is, or it may also encompass mental health struggles. D. Man versus nature. In a nature conflict, a character is set in opposition to nature. This can mean the weather, the wilderness, or a natural disaster. So that would be all about short story, guys. Thank you for being with me. Keep safe and God bless.